other interesting business news, you have Dr. Pepper passing Pepsi, becoming the second favorite soda or pop, depending where you are in the country. They seem to kind of go back and forth on what do people actually call it, depending on where they live. Now, this is pretty monumentous in the beverage industry because, again, Pepsi has held that position since 1985. This is thanks to People, which like Etcher Walcott is the actual writer. They note, quote, Dr. Pepper passes Pepsi as the second favorite soda brand in the U.S., which is astronomical. Although it is a little heartbreaking, you're not really considered a Texas-based company anymore, which they're famously headquartered over in Plano, Texas, with many other Fortune 500 and very famous companies. And yet, a couple years ago, they were bought out by the coffee manufacturer. People know them from the K-Cups, but they're known as Keurig. So now the legal entity is known as Keurig Dr. Pepper, with locations in Texas, but globally headquartered, I believe, is it Boston? It's over on the East Coast. And truth be told, once they're not based in Texas, my interest drops off precipitously since most of the business I do is in Texas. Now, this is yet another reason I don't think TikTok will ever be banned. That site is one of the main reasons why Dr. Pepper is just growing exponentially in popularity. As youth might say, they are trending, and they also coming out with new bold flavors, which I know is a cliche thing. Every flavor has to be bold, which I guess is a good marketing term. We just talked about spiced cola recently, and one of the metrics they talk about in terms of growing, those categories is the youth these days want a bold and unique flavor. Which, I think it's been that way since I don't want to say the dawn of time. They only had water back then, but nevertheless, it's been that way for quite some time. Now, this is according to Beverage Digest. They say, quote, according to new analytics data provided by Beverage Digest, Dr. Pepper surpassed longstanding runner-up Pepsi to become the second most popular soda in the U.S. in 2023, behind the favorite Coca-Cola. Now, Dr. Pepper secured the second most favorite by a slight margin over Pepsi, which previously held the position since 1985. Both drinks, however, tied in the soda market rate at 8.3%. That wasn't enough to beat Coke, which currently holds steady at the top position at 19.2% of the soda market captured in the country last year. Other brands owned by Coca-Cola rounded up the top five, with Sprite coming in at fourth position at 8.1%, and Diet Cola in fifth at 7.8%. That's even more impressive because, again, all these companies have a portfolio almost as diverse as Unilever or other cliche holding company. There are so many flavors of Coca-Cola and Pepsi products and affiliates and that they own and have interest and investments in. Is it pretty impressive that these singular brands that they own are still this popular? Now, they also say that, here's a good little fun history. We'll go over it. Dr. Pepper was founded in Waco, Texas, a year before Coca-Cola was created in 1985 and Pepsi in 1893. They note that the brand's increased popularity due to many flavors, investments, and strategic marketing and distribution efforts. Let's just see. Actually, go down to the shelf. You actually see a couple of classics. You see the redesigned Pepsi logo, which is, I would say they redesigned so much. The logo is actually just more large and simplistic as opposed to the previously. The lettering of the Pepsi was not as bold. Again, that word cliche, I know. But yeah, you have Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar on the shelf and Dr. Pepper Cherry. So I'll be interested to see if they can keep this momentum up. And again, just goes to show you the power of social media and how well advertising can work for certain industries, especially it seems like consumable products when it comes to like beverages, like alcohol, as well as soda pop or soda or pop. I don't know what else you can call it. Well, let me know where you live, depending on what you call it. But yeah, it's one of the reasons they keep growing in popularity. But at the end of the day, it would be fascinating to see. Well, maybe look at their 10K or their their quarterly statements to see how much profit is there. Because again, they're spending a lot of money on marketing, so they get more sales. But again, marketing ain't cheap. So it is great to see what used to be a Texas-based company beat out the New York-based company, which spoiler alert, is PepsiCo is famously headquartered in purchasing New York, with obviously they do of course have an office in Texas, like most people do or most companies do. But let me know, when's the last time you actually had a Dr. Pepper? Truth be told, last time I had a Dr. Pepper was I had the OG Dr. Pepper, the Dublin Dr. Pepper, which is, as the word might imply, brewed in Dublin, Texas. And it was made with the original formula, real cane sugar, and it was a little cute little bottle. It was the mystery that you could only get if you were in like 60 miles of the factory. And I have relatives who live in Texas, I'm from the Midwest. That was half the allure of Texas, was the mystery of that brand. That soda you can only get if you're in that area. I still remember the first week I moved to Texas, I made sure I got one of those. It tasted amazing. Now, unfortunately, after the Keurig Dr. Pepper acquisition, it sounds like the contract was nullified. So the Dublin, I was about to say brewery, soda maker, they had a licensing agreement with Dr. Pepper to manufacture it, and they would, of course, pay them a royalty. But unfortunately, that's long gone. And of course, now they're selling for lots of money on electronicbay.com. So if you want that rare flavor, you can still find it. And of course, now they claim to have, they make it with real sugar, and they do, but it doesn't taste that good in terms of actual Dr. Pepper making it. But let me know in the comments, have you ever tried one, and would you ever want one? As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.